Questions, guys?
Bobby, first off, why these two guys to start the team?
Yeah, definitely. When you're building a team from scratch, you're looking for guys who have done something in the game, who have played at various levels and competed at a high level, either won championships or born leaders and bring a different dynamic. At the same time, you look at a style of play that you want to play as a coach, and you look to see what the best type of players that fit into that style of play. And these two guys are two perfect examples of it. One is a guy that we look forward to orchestrating our midfield, and the other one is providing us some attacking punch. There's obviously but a lot of familiarity from our past. So two guys that know me, know what I expect on the field, and I know them very well, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
From what I gather, when Sigma teams evolve, maybe these two guys could comment, but the pre-plus speed teams, right? Speed offense, like a quick counterattack, that kind of thing, is that?
Yeah, I don't want to say more of the counterattack, but a lot of speed, but a lot of football ability. You know, that's the most important thing to us, is the football ability, the technical ability, guys being able to play, being comfortable on the ball, a lot of interchanging of movement, and yes, of course, speed is one of those components, and both the guys fit those characteristics that we want to be able to play.
This is kind of a unique format to create a team, but it start with cornerstone players and then fill in around it. So would you say these two guys are cornerstones for Jesse?
Yeah, when we're looking to build a team, these are two guys we targeted right from the beginning, and just knowing their history and what they've done in the past few years, and obviously over a longer span than that. So they're two players that make sense in order to build this team the way we want to be able to build it, and in my vision going forward.
Kyle, assuming that it goes the way that most soccer goes, you're going to have the ball on your foot a lot, right? In terms of controlling things. What are you looking for? That'll depend on who you have, I assume.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like Bobby said, we're not just a counterattack team. We want to play football. We want to break teams down, and that's going to be a big part of my role with the team. Obviously, putting Chris in some good positions so he can finish the ball.
Chris, this is a unique opportunity for you to be one of the cornerstone guys for a team. What's that running through your mind right now?
I'm just happy to be put in this position. You know, I look forward to showcasing what I have, and it's going to be a good step in my career.
Both guys, Kyle, Chris, congrats, welcome. Again, with Bobby arriving in Hamilton, knowing a little bit what to expect, that's got to kind of ease the growing process a bit, so a little bit more comfortable level as you come to camp, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a good chunk of my life with Bobby. I would say there's been a lot of ups and downs. I've given him a lot of stress over the years, but you know, it's been good, and I didn't hesitate to jump at the opportunity to come work with him again.
Can I ask you about the relationship? I mean, there is a partnership with the CSA. Obviously, the men's head coach is interested in here. You got a guy that's been capped a lot. You got a guy who wants to be senior capped going forward as well. I assume both do. What sort of interplay is there between the style of play that he's looking for and the league? Is there any interplay at all? Is there any suggestions, any type of thing, this is how we want to develop?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of interplay. I think there maybe is a common way of playing or common ideas. I think for each club and part of whatever league they're part of has to have their own way and their own philosophy of doing things. The one thing that's great here is we have a league that's starting that's obviously going to be Canadian-centric, and I think the biggest benefactor of that will be our Canadian national team. So at any point you have a team and a style of playing where players are comfortable with the ball, there's a lot of technical ability and so on. From that point on, every coach can be able to work with the player. So I think that there are some similarities from that aspect. I mean, we'll have our own way and distinct way of playing, but the biggest benefactor of that, beyond our community here in Hamilton and our fans that are coming to support this, will be the Canadian national team as we move forward.
Bobby, when you look at your time on the job already, trying to make this roster, is it just as much about relationships because you pick two guys that you're familiar with, as it is about talent evaluation?
Yeah, I think it's both. And first and foremost, you look at talent. You want to be able to put players on the field that are going to be able to produce. So that's the first thing that we look at. We look at the quality of the players' background, and anytime it comes into scouting, it's looking at what attributes they bring to the field, but more importantly, what attributes are you looking at per position and in those players. And when you can find a fit in players that you're familiar with, I think then it's a great thing that comes together, as opposed to sometimes going into the unknown. So that's a very normal thing from a soccer aspect and all sports aspect. But first thing that we look at is the attributes per position that we're looking to have as a team, and then we try and fill that with a list of what players we're looking at. And it just so happens these two gentlemen fit the description of what I look for in attributes in two positions: a central attacking midfielder in Kyle Bekker, a very versatile attacker in Chris Nanco. And when you put that all together, now you have the familiarity aspect as well. I think it's a great thing to bring together, and a good way to start off what we're going to have is a successful club here at Forge FC.
Kyle, you've spoken a lot, I think, this week, and Bobby echoed this about leadership and mentorship. As a soccer outsider, I'm kind of wondering if there's something about soccer, I got to think about this afterwards, whether there was something peculiar to soccer that's hard about leadership. Was there something that would be the hardest part of that, or?
No, I think it's the same across the board in all sports. I mean, it's just a very important role to have within a club, especially when you're bringing in a young group in a young league. You need a few players in the team who've kind of been there before and can help the younger guys. So you kind of hit the ground running, and there's no that weird period where everyone's kind of clicking and the whole thing is brand new to everyone. So I mean, I think that's a role that I'm looking forward to taking on within the group. And I think it's a role that me and Bobby have spoke about, and something I'm very excited about.
You talked about your flair, and does that, within a team situation, how's that play out within a team situation? You've got to be free to have that, right?
Yeah, I mean, attacking players, we look for opportunities to have freedom and express ourselves going forward. And I think playing with Bobby over the years, he's provided me with that opportunity, and that just showcases what I have. Every time I can get on the field and have fun while I'm playing, it just works out hand in hand.
Kyle, when talking about the CPL started, is it a league that you wanted to play in right away, even though you were in the MLS?
I mean, I was very excited about it. It's something we've kind of all been speaking about since the beginning of it. It's something Canadians have needed for a long time. So it's being a part of it from the ground is unbelievable. It's something that once the opportunity came up, speaking with Bobby, I was very excited about, and just having the chance is it's amazing.
Chris, what interested you most with the CPL?
Just that it's like Canada's league, you know. Growing up, we didn't really have this. We didn't have anything to kind of like look up to. Everybody was going overseas, going to America for school and stuff like that. So just being here and being able to help start this up and build something in Canada, it's really special to me.
How much do these guys go out into the community? These are the only two you have so far, to sell the message that he just gave.
Yeah, I think that's.
Kyle's been giving all week as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important messages we're going to have as a whole. Not only these two guys who will play an integral part in that, is that's what we're trying to be able to do here. Is we're trying to be able to create that path so a young kid getting involved in the sport really knows what the end game is or what the end game could be. You know, up until now, we get to a point at 16, 17, and we really don't know where we're going with the sport. And it all depends on what environment you're in and if that environment can help you. Now it's clear and defined. You know, the Canadian Premier League gives you something at the pinnacle of this sport in this country. And I think like every other country in the world, that's the success of your nation in a sport. That's going to be your success of your national team over the years. So I think fundamentally that's what you do, and we've got two great ambassadors to do it.
Kyle, knowing you had some interest for other leagues between the USL and the NASL, what made you choose Hamilton?
A lot of things went into it. Obviously, a big part of it is being a part of the CPL and being a part of Forge from the get-go. I think there's something to be said about being one of the founders in it, which is a little more incentive on the personal side. But it's just about being a part of something that's so much bigger. Like these guys have touched on, starting in the first league in Canada, and just knowing what it will be and what it has the potential to be, and it's something I'm very excited about. I mean, like these guys said, there's been a huge problem is growing up, you get to 16, 17, and you have no idea what you're going to do. And you're just grasping at straws, hoping to find the right situation. So now we can build something where from a young age, kids can see that this is something that you can do with your life. And to me, that's amazing.
Kyle, I guess in the change room, it wasn't that long ago that you were drafted yourself into the MLS as a young player. Now here we are 5, maybe 6 years later when it comes down. You're that senior player, you have all that successful experience. It's got to be a bit of a really neat thing for you to be in the change room, as well as on the pitch, but in the change room to kind of pass on the experience with to these younger players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would love to be a mentor to these guys, obviously help out in any way I can, because obviously you guys in the media, you see the games, but there's so much other stuff that goes into it day to day that's not even just soccer stuff. There's all the stuff you have to deal with, and being professional and taking care of yourself outside of the field when the coaches are around and the staff's around, and I think that's a big part of it. And to kind of give these guys the image of what it needs to be from day one, and then hopefully they can adapt to it and be as successful as possible.
Now that guys are signing to rosters around the CPL, have anybody reached out to you that maybe you knew growing up playing that didn't think there was a future in the game in this country that says, you know, I'm going to start again, I'm going to try to make this league, make a team, and make an impact?
Yeah, I think it's been exciting for a lot of people. I mean, I think it kind of comes back into people's minds that this is the thing they wanted to do. Obviously, then it comes down to the coaching staff to make sure we find the right fit. So from day one, there is a lot of talent on the field. Because the fact is, there's a lot of talent in Canada, and a lot of it goes unseen. So now, hopefully, us bringing that here, we stop that and we show everyone what we got.
Can I ask Kyle's question in reverse? Have you suggested, either of you, to the coach, hey, go get this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's conversations going around across the board, and you want to bring in a group so we can be successful from day one. But I have no doubt in my mind that Bobby will put together a big team, and we're going to be the best team in the league.
Yeah, the exact same. Yeah.
Anybody else? Great, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.